I'm Teacher Penny, and I'm bringing you a new video today about the VIPKid hiring process. Glad to help you through this, and I'm excited about being a part of your journey with VIPKid. Today we're talking about several different things that it would be nice to make these into 3 short videos or 4 short videos or something like that, but these topics that I'm going to talk about today all have to do with the VIPKid teaching style, and they're so interrelated that I really can't break it up into just a couple of videos, because you have to understand how they all work together. So what I'm talking about today is the VIPKid teaching style, and we're going to talk about the big 3, TPR and IPAED, also something called I do, we do, you do. So all of that is going to be in this, and we're going to cover all of that through this video, but they all kind of interconnect and they work with each other. So I just want to talk about it all at one time. So hang on to your bootstraps and let's go. So teaching for VIPKid is wonderful. I love teaching for VIPKid, but it is a very different teaching style. You may be a wonderful teacher, okay, in your brick and mortar school or wherever you've taught, homeschool, whatever you've done with teaching, you may be a great teacher, but teaching online is completely different, and teaching ESL is completely different. And VIPKid has their style of teaching that they want you to use, that they have found works best with children online teaching English, and they want you to use their style. And if you don't use their style of teaching, you are not going to be hired. Okay, so you must know their style, and more importantly, be teachable. Be ready to learn something new. Sometimes we as teachers, y'all, I taught for 25 years before I started working with VIPKid. In public schools, in private schools, homeschool, church, all kinds of different situations. I know how to teach, okay, but I didn't know how to teach the VIPKid way. And I actually failed the whole process. This is back when you could fail it, okay? I failed the whole process because I did not follow their teaching style. So I really want you to be able to understand that, so that you can be successful in the hiring process and as a VIPKid teacher. So first off, let me go over who am I. As I said, I'm Penny Davis. I live in North Carolina. I am a VIPKid teacher. I've taught with them for 2.5 years, and I have helped over 500 teachers get hired. So I know the hiring process very well. I know the teaching style very well. I've taught over 3,000 classes with VIPKid. And so I know a lot about that style, and I want to help you with it. They kind of have their little hoops you have to jump through as a part of the hiring process. And I figured out a lot of them. Not all of them, but a lot of them. I figured them out. I figured out what they're looking for in that hiring process, and I can help you through that. But the best ways that I can help you, first off, I have a website, hellopennydavis.com. It has a ton of information on there about VIPKid, answering some of your questions that you may have. I also have a Facebook group called VIPKid Teachers Wanted, and you can join that group as well and be a part of that, answer your questions and see the tips. And as I learn things, I put them in both places, okay? But if you have not applied for VIPKid yet, if you're just still in that searching, learning phase, that's fine, okay? But if you've not applied for VIPKid yet, when you get ready, please use this link to apply for VIPKid. It'll also be down here in the description on YouTube. Use this link. That makes you my referral. The company pays me for helping you get hired. So, there's no charge to you to do that, and I can help you all the way through with access to a special area on my website called the Hiring Bootcamp. And in the bootcamp, I've got specific detailed instructions, private videos, private documents that you can get to, and you can are going to help support you through the whole process. Okay, so be sure and use my link to apply to VIPKid. Now, if you've already applied for VIPKid and you did not use a referral code, you can add my code. Go on a computer. You have to be on a computer. Okay, go on a computer and click on the VIPKid website. In the top right corner, there is going to be My Account. So click on My Account, and there it says Add Referring Teacher. If it has that option, put in this code, Penny0008. Make sure there's 3 zeros. There's zeros, not O's. But put in this code. That also makes you my referral there, okay? Now, if it doesn't have the option to add my code there, or if it already has a name there, but you don't know who they are, they're not helping you, or maybe you used somebody else's code somewhere along the way, but they're not helping you through the process, or you don't know how to get in touch with them, VIPKid doesn't give us your email address, so we may not be able to get in touch with you. But you can't switch to mine, but you can just log out of the VIPKid website, clear your history on your browser, and then click this link, go back to my link here, and use that link and just start a whole new application. If you do that, make sure that you use a new email address and a new phone number. So family members, friends, a Google Voice number, a Skype number, either one of those would work. My Google Voice just went off on
According to Skype support, a Skype number is a second phone number which is attached to your Skype account.
My phone is telling me what a Skype number is because it came up with a Google thing. Anyway, all right. So use a different email address and a different phone number to do your application. You can switch it back to your phone number later, but just use a different email address and phone number with this new application, and that will also make you my referral, so that I can help you all the way through this process. Okay, regardless of which one you do, if you use my link, if you add my code, whatever, please email me, teacherpennyvipkid@gmail.com. VIPKid does not give us your email addresses, and so privacy issues, all that. So if you don't email me, I can't get in touch with you to give you all this help. So please be sure and email me right at this address so that I can help you through the process. All right, so let's jump into this teaching style that we're talking about here. The first thing we're going to discuss is what's called the Big Three. Now, this is something that you're not going to see this listed anywhere in the VIPKid training materials, but this is something that they are looking for. A mock mentor that is one of the people that scores you and does the mock class with you is going to be looking for these things. And so I want you to think about this, that on every single slide we teach, this is what they are looking for, that you are going to do this with your student, okay? So on every single slide, we want our students to speak in a complete sentence. Now, we use complete sentences because they're learning how the whole language works together. It's not enough to just say yes, no, ball, happy, sad. No, that's not enough. That's just a string of vocabulary words. But to be really understood, they have to form a complete sentence, a complete thought, in order to be completely understood. So we want them to use those complete sentences. Instead of, what does she play with? A ball. Do we want she plays with a ball? What's your name? Rebecca. Nope, I want the complete sentence. My name is Rebecca. You want the whole sentence with this so that they can understand everything, that we can understand everything that they're saying. And they practice all of those things with correct grammar, which is number 2. We want our students to speak with correct grammar. When they're using a complete sentence and they're practicing, I am happy, he is happy, she is happy. When they're doing those complete sentences, he throws a ball, she throws a ball, I throw a ball. When we're using those complete sentences and we're expecting them to use correct grammar, then they're understanding. That's becoming habit. See, we don't have to think about, is it I am or I is? Okay, is it you are or you be, or what? We don't have to think about those things. We don't have to think about he throws a ball instead of he throw a ball. We just automatically do that because we've grown up with it, but they don't understand that. And that conjugation and using instead of the, or using to in a sentence, they don't understand, when do I need to use that, when do I not need to use that. And it needs to just become habit with them because they've done it over and over and over again. So that complete sentence and the grammar, they work together. That we have to do that. We have to make sure that they're using that complete grammar and that they're using complete sentences and correct grammar all the way through. Now the grammar starts with you. You must speak correctly. You must speak correct English. So you ain't gonna be talking like this. You're not, I don't care where you're from. I'm as Southern as they come, y'all. But y'all, I don't think I've used y'all in class, but I probably have. It's really funny to hear my students with a little bit of a Texas drawl and a North Carolina drawl to it. So it's really fun to hear them with that. But I do speak English correctly. I say it correctly. I throw a ball. He throws a ball. I make sure that I say it correctly. I'm going to use correct English myself. And if I make a mistake, then I'm going to jump back in and correct myself for that. But I have to speak English correctly first. If you cannot speak English with standard correct English, you're not going to be hired to teach English. Understand? Now, that also means that you're going to listen very carefully for these mistakes, okay? So if you look down here, we'll get to number 3 in a second, but if you look down here, we correct very gently. So if they give us a one-word answer and not a complete sentence, if they say something incorrectly, we have to correct that. And this is a huge part of what we do as VIPKid teachers. The parents want us to correct their language. The parents took English in school, but they never had a chance to sit down one-on-one with an English-speaking person for that person to correct their grammar, their pronunciation, to practice conversation. That's why they're paying for one-on-one lessons with VIPKid, so that we can do those corrections. They want us to correct them, but we do it very gently, very positively. So if they make a mistake, if they say, he throw a ball, I'm not going to go, no, you said that wrong. Obviously, you're not going to do that one, okay? But you just say it again and get them to say it back to you correctly. So when we have them say something and they say it incorrectly, we would point to your mouth, he throws a ball, and then get them to repeat it back to you. Okay, if they leave out a word, my name Penny, okay, my name is Penny. See, I can count the number of words to show them how many words I want them to say. That's all a part of that correction. Okay, so we correct them all the way through the lesson. Listen very carefully. Never ever let them get away with using a one-word sentence or one-word answer, or using incorrect grammar. Sometimes it's really hard to hear, particularly that S on the end of the word, okay? He plays with a ball. It's really hard to hear if they try to sneak in a he play with a ball. Okay, I'm really specifically talking about the mock class here, but it's also when we're teaching. Listen carefully for that S on the end of the verbs, because it's really hard to hear unless you are specifically listening for it. Okay, so make sure that you are correcting their grammar, their pronunciation, everything all the way through the lesson. Now, number 3 is speak independently. Every lesson, the student needs to be speaking independently. They need to be speaking 50% of the time. So I want you to think about setting up a ping-pong rhythm in your class. I say it, they say it. I say it, they say it. Back and forth, all the way through the lesson, okay? They are learning at this young age, they are learning simply by repeating. We can't explain, you're going to say this word and you're going to add an S here to this verb because this is the he. No, we can't explain all that, okay? They just learn it by repeating it, by hearing it and oh, that's what I'm supposed to say. Okay, they may not even completely understand why it's that way, but they get into the habit of saying it that way. They're just repeating back and forth with us, okay? So make sure that you are always using that, and you're correcting them and you're getting them to repeat back and forth. Now that means if they are repeating back and forth with us, we're not going to say anything that they don't say back to us. So if I want them to say the sentence, to say the word, whatever, I say it, they say it back to me. I say it, they say it back to me. But I'm not going to say extra things, what we call incidental language. Okay, now let's do this. Let's move on. Let's try this. Can you say? No, don't use something like can you say, because if you say can you say ball, and then you ask your student to say it back to you, they're going to say can you say ball. I don't want them to say can you say. I just want them to say ball. Okay, so I do ball, and I show them the shape of a ball. We're going to get to that here in a second. Or I show them the prop of a ball or something like that and get them to say it back to me. But don't use all those words to explain what you're doing. Just do it and let them say it back to you. Okay, you're going to be repeating the same words over and over and over and over and kind of drilling this into your student, but they're going to get it. Okay, so the big three: speak in complete sentences every single slide. Second one, use correct grammar on every single slide. Make sure that they are speaking independently. They have to speak a lot, y'all. Get them talking. This is the whole point of VIPKid lessons, is for them to talk, for them to give us verbal output, for them to give us the words and the sentences to answer the questions that we do. The whole point of VIPKid is to get them talking, to get them speaking in English, okay? So make sure you are using that constantly through here. Now, let's look at the next thing, is something called TPR. If you have done anything with VIPKid, then you know about TPR, okay? So TPR is total physical response. So the physical side of it means that I am physically moving. I'm going to do something physical to get my student to respond. This is not about me responding to my student. This is about my student responding to me. So when I do throw, and I want them to do that motion back with me, I want them to understand the concept of throw, so they have to do it with me. And when I do happy, see, I do happy, I do sad. And I'm going to do this motion and this acting it out so over the top that it's going to help my student understand the concept I'm teaching, but I really want them to do it back to me. It's not enough for me to go, I am happy, and they go, I am happy. I am sad. I am sad. No, no, I want them to do this with me. I want them to do happy and sad and throw and all of these kind of motions with it. I taught a student the other day, and I was trying to get him, he was learning the parts of the face, and I wanted him to do, this is my nose, and I kept pointing to mine. He never would touch it. I finally got him to touch his nose. I'm like, yay! Okay. I want him to be physically involved with this and pointing to things and doing happy and sad and throw and swing and all of those kind of words, because when they do those motions with us, when they act it out with us, that means that they are understanding the concept. TPR is all about getting my student to understand the concept, getting them to do this with me, okay? So whether I'm pointing to myself or I or me or whatever it is, I want them to understand the concept that we're talking about. If they're just doing, I am happy, I am sad, he is happy, he is, no, they're just repeating words, they're repeating sounds there. They don't really understand the concept there. What I want them to understand the whole concept. So that's why I get them to respond back to me using this TPR. Okay, so you're inviting your student. You might do a motion like this, inviting your student to do it. So throw, Rebecca, throw. You point to your hand and you get up to you, happy, Rebecca. Yeah, and you get them to respond back to you and get them to do that motion. So there are actually two types of TPR. I've just shown you examples of the first one, which is educational TPR. Educational is where we are teaching them a concept. Now, if I want to teach them this new concept, I want to use TPR first. Okay, before I bring in a prop, I want to use TPR to help them understand the concept. So I would do happy and sad, and help them understand that. Then I would bring in a prop to show sad. Or if I'm teaching ball, I want to show the concept of a ball first, okay? Then I could show them an actual prop of a ball. So you're going to use the TPR first, and they really, this is a big thing here lately, okay? Something they've really been emphasizing is use the TPR first, then use a prop with it, okay? So that's the educational TPR. When you're talking about the concept, the vocabulary words, the verbs, whatever we're teaching them, we want to use TPR to help them understand that content. But there's also another type of TPR called instructional TPR. That's where we're helping them understand what we want them to do in the classroom. Now, the biggest move you're going to use is this one. Whenever I want my student to say something, I'm going to cup my hand behind my ear. So I would do hello and then cup my hand here because I want my student to say hello back to me. Okay? And then I'm going to maybe do it again. Hi! And then cup my ear and get them to say it back to me. Okay? Anytime that I want them to say that word back to me, I'm going to cup my hand behind my ear. So ball. Ball. Okay? And I get them to say that back to me, but always doing this, getting that hand behind your ear. If you're in your mock class and you are wanting your student to say something, if you don't put your hand behind their ear, they're not going to do anything. Your mock mentor is going to look at you. Okay? You haven't told them what to do. You have to tell them what you want to do using that TPR. So you cup your ear to get them to say it back to you. So you do ball, ball. And then you move on from there. Now you can point to your mouth if they make a mistake. If they say something wrong, they pronounce the word wrong. They leave a word out of a sentence. They use the wrong conjugation. He plays with a ball, and they say you say the sentence first, okay? And you say he. Whoops. You say you would use, by this point you're using a prop here. He plays with a ball, and you want them to say it back, so you cup your ear, okay? And then you want them to say it back to you, and they say, he play with a ball, okay? Now, you're listening carefully, right? Because they've just made a mistake. They said he play instead of he plays. So if I want to correct them, I'm going to isolate that one little word, okay, by pointing to my mouth. Plays. Plays. I might also circle the S on the page if there's a word written on the page, or maybe I have it written on a whiteboard like you see here with Rose. So I would circle it or point to that S on it to emphasize the S on it. So I'm going to emphasize that to them and have them repeat it again. Plays. He plays with a ball. And get them to say it back to me again. So pointing to your mouth, only point to your mouth when you're correcting them, when you're fixing something that they have said incorrectly, okay? Otherwise, you're going to use TPR or you're going to use a prop while you're saying the word and then get them to say it back to you. Okay, so now you're inviting them to join in with your whatever that motion is. Okay, so are you doing something like this, or maybe just doing this to point to them? It's rude to point to a person with one finger in China. So you would say hello. Okay, you could show them if they're not wanting to do something. You show them, hey, I want you to be involved. Come on, you can do this. But I do that with emotion rather than with words. Okay, so again, he plays with a no, don't point your hand. He plays with a ball, and then I cup my hand here, and come on, you do it. Yeah, okay, but I'm not going to do the come on, you do it. Okay. This motion is helping them to be involved in that, okay? If I want them to do this motion, throw, okay? Throw, okay? Where I'm helping them and inviting them to be a part of that. Now, we also want to model things like when we circle something. We can draw on the screen. The students can draw on the screen as well. And whenever I want them to do that, if I want them to draw a circle or draw a line, or when you get to the mock class in the certification center, you can drag pictures around. We have to show them how to do that. We have to teach them how to do it as if they have never done anything like this before, okay? We have to show them how to do it. So you would, and I can't draw here like I want to, but I'll put it into the video, okay? So if I wanted them to circle the cat, okay, with my right hand, because I'm right-handed, if you're left-handed, switch it, whatever, okay? So with my right hand on the mouse, I would circle the cat, okay? And then while I'm doing that, I'm saying, circle the cat, making sure that they understand the word cat, okay? And I would do this motion. We are assuming that our students have an iPad, a touchscreen device, okay? So we circle that. We circle it first with our mouse and then show this motion to get them to circle it. Same thing if I want them to draw a line. I would draw the line with my right hand with the mouse, but then show this with my left hand. Draw a line if we're drawing, you know, big A and small a, or whatever it is that we want them to do, where we want them to draw that line. But we have to do it first. We have to show them how to do it first. That is what we call modeling. We model how to do everything. We show them how to do it. So that's with circling something or drawing a line. In the mock class, in the certification center, we can move things around on some of the slides. We can move pictures and words and things like that around on the slide. And when you do that, you have to show them how to do that. You have to teach your mock mentor, you have to teach them how to drag things around on the screen. They are looking for some specific words and some specific motions, okay? So let's say that I need to move this cat from up here down to here. I hope you can see my mouse here, okay? Now the student can't see our mouse when we're teaching, but I can grab hold of this cat and wiggle it around to make them see, hey, look, this can move. Sometimes it's not real obvious that the stuff on the page can be moved, so I have to show them, hey, look, you can move this without using words, okay? I'm just showing them, look, see, it can move. Then I would do this motion. With my left hand, I'm going to do drag and drop. Okay, see how I'm doing that motion? Drag and drop. So with my right hand on the mouse, I'm moving whatever it is I want them to move. The toy, the word, whatever it is, the ball, I want them to move. But with my left hand, I'm showing this motion. Drag and drop the cat. Okay, and help them understand how to do that. I have to show them how to do that motion. And they're looking specifically for you to use this motion and to say drag and drop. Now be careful that you keep your motions within the view of the camera. Now I've got my camera a little bit narrower than you would see in an actual classroom, so if I go off a little bit, you'll understand. Yeah, I've got it narrower here so you can see all of the writing on this side. Okay, so that's the instructional TPR. That's where you're showing them what to do in the classroom. Things like underlining the words and circling the words, or circling just the S on the end of the verb, or something like that to draw their attention to it. We want to do that throughout the class to help our student with it. We can use props to help them with it. So maybe if we're teaching, we're teaching the word, the sentence, he plays with a ball, then we can help them with this. He plays with a, and help them put it. Remember, our goal is to always get them to speak, to say this sentence back to us. So that's what you're looking for all the way through the lesson. You're looking for them to say it back to you. You're going to use that instructional TPR. Again, don't explain it with words. They don't know all those words. If you use all those words that they don't understand, they just quit listening. They quit trying. Too hard. Okay, so all those words like, hey, I'm going to say a word and I want you to say that word back to me. No, you can't do all that. Ball. Okay, ball. Okay, and you get them to say it without using words. Okay, all right, so that's all about TPR. Let's look quickly. This is similar, and we've already talked about a few of these concepts. I just want to go over them again. Modeling and repetition. Modeling is you model what you want them to do and then ask them to do it. So that's where we're talking about circling something or drawing the line or whatever it is you want them to do, to drag and drop something. You have to do it first. Okay, every single time you have to do it first and then let them do it with you. Don't explain it, just do it and have them repeat it. Don't explain it with words. And they're going to repeat everything you say. So if you don't want them to say, okay, now let's try this, then you're not going to say it. Okay, that's incidental language, so you cannot use that when you're teaching this. Don't get into that trap of saying all these words that you don't really need. Okay, now, and then repeat all new material at least 2 times. So if it's a new word or a new sentence, make sure that they say that new word or that new sentence at least 2 times before you move on by itself. So if we're teaching ball, we're going to do ball, ball. He plays with a ball. He plays with a ball. See, I've said the word 2 times, then I've said the sentence 2 times with it, okay? Make sure anything that's new that they repeat that at least 2 times, okay? All throughout the lessons, all throughout. They have to repeat them 2 times, particularly in this mock class if they make a mistake, okay? If they make some kind of mistake, pronunciation, grammar, whatever, if they make a mistake, you definitely have to repeat and get them to say, you want them to say it correctly 2 times, okay? Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is called I do, we do, you do. It's not in the title of this, of my video, because it's just kind of a part of everything that we do, but I want you to understand what we're talking about with I do, we do, you do. Okay, now this is an educational concept. It's not just VIPKid. I've seen this in my daughter's school. They use it in those classrooms as well. It is this, y'all, it's the way we teach everything. I do it first, and they just repeat it back to me. They just do it with me, okay? And then we do it together. We practice it, and then eventually my student can do it on their own. Think about the way you teach somebody how to cook, okay? I do it. I show them how to crack the egg and mix it up and everything. Then we practice it together, and then eventually my student, my son, my daughter, whatever, they can do it on their own. Teaching a new math concept, I do it. I do it up on the board, and we do it with the manipulatives and whatever, and then we do it together, and I let the students practice it together up on the board, or they're out loud, or with a friend, or whatever. We practice it together, and eventually my student can take their own paper, their own workbook, and do it on their own. They can show that they understand it independently. That is what I do, we do, you do is all about. Now, with our lessons, we want our students to move from I do, where I'm just saying it and they're repeating it back to me, to we do, where we practice it back and forth. And then eventually I want them to be able to understand it and understand the concept, make their own sentence, and use it independently. Use this new word ball independently in the sentence, okay? Now, sometimes I do, we do, you do is all on one slide where we're helping them. We start off helping more. We practice it a little bit. By the end of the slide, they can do it somewhat on their own. Sometimes we spread that I do, we do, you do out on several slides, which is what you're going to see in the mock class, okay? And also in the smart demo, you would see that as well. In the recorded demo, you're going to see those 3 different types of slides there, okay? So I'll talk. By the way, if you're confused on what I'm talking about, smart demo, recorded demo, mock class, all that stuff, you need to go watch the video that's going to be linked down here that talks about how do I get hired. It explains the different parts of the hiring process, the hiring system, where you move through from one step to the next step to the next step. Okay, so if you don't understand those steps, you might not understand what I'm talking about, the different types of things there. Okay, so you're going to work through this I do, we do, you do all the way through your all the way through the lesson. Okay, so but it's huge with VIPKid, but you're wanting them to move back forward and forward and forward through this process to show that they understand the words, that they understand how to use it in a sentence, and they can use it independently. My goal is to get my student to say it independently. That's always my goal throughout the entire lesson, is to get my student to do this independently. Now, what VIPKid does is they put together the lessons to follow along with this I do, we do, you do concept, and they have different kinds of slides. The slides are labeled with a letter, I, P, A, E, or D. And those slides, depending on which one you see, that's going to be what kind of slide it is, and it's going to determine how you teach it, okay? In the top right corner of every slide that you teach, it's going to have a block up there that says something like I vocabulary or P verb or A phonics or something like that. It'll have that up in the top right corner of the slide. If it is an I slide, that is the first type of slide that we see, and that is for introduce. Okay, this is where we are introducing a new concept to our student. We are introducing a new vocabulary word, a new verb, a new sentence, a new phonics concept, something, and just something on the page is new. And this is the I do part where I am doing it, they're just repeating it back to me. Okay, I say it, they repeat it back to me. Now the I do slides, this is the I do, so they're just repeating here, okay? It's this new concept, helping them to understand what the new concept is and helping them to understand how to use it in a sentence. The new word, or words, sometimes it's two words, the new word is going to be written in orange. And remember what I said about having to do things 2 times, to repeat things 2 times, okay? You're going to say that word and get your student to repeat it back to you 2 times. The first time, and I've already shown you some of this. Can you see how this is all repeating? Okay, so the first time you do it with TPR. Okay, so you do ball. Okay, or let's do, I showed you ball a while ago. Let me do a new one with kite. Okay, so you're going to teach them the word kite. Let's use TPR first. Okay, kite, and they say it back to you. Then you can show the prop, kite. Good. So they've said that word back to you 2 times, just the word by itself. No sentence yet, just the word by itself. Okay. Now I'm going to put it into a sentence. Okay. My sentence in this lesson is I fly my kite. Okay, this is in the sentence that I'm showing you now is in the mock class in the B lesson for the lower level. Okay, so the sentence is I fly my kite. So I say the sentence, I fly my kite. Yes, I fly my kite. Yay! So I've said the sentence and gotten them to say it back to me. They're probably going to say, I fly kite or something. They're going to mispronounce something, whatever. You're going to fix that, okay? So you just say it correctly, get them to say it back to you again, okay? Then we've said the word 2 times. We've said the sentence 2 times. Now I'm going to ask a question. You're not going to see this, the question. You're not going to see this in any of the training material for VIPKid, okay? This is something that they kind of want you to just know, and I'm not sure why they don't tell you to do it, but I'm telling you, this is what they're looking for, okay? You want to ask a question, and you're going to use this same question throughout everything where we're teaching this word kite, okay? So the question, if my answer is, I fly my kite, then my sentence needs to be phrased in such a way that the answer to my sentence is whatever the sentence I just taught them, okay? So I just taught them I fly my kite, so the sentence has to be, what do I fly? Okay, so you would say, what do I fly? And you want them to say, I fly my kite. You might circle it on the page because it does have the word written on the sentence written on the page. You might have it written on a whiteboard, something about that. Okay, so that's something to help them with that. But you're trying to get them to say, I fly my kite. Now, normally, what a normal kid would do, and then your mock mentor might do this too, you say, what do I fly? They're going to say, a kite. They're just going to say, you know, the verb or the noun, okay? They're not going to say the whole sentence. You want them to say the whole sentence. So you say, I fly my kite. Yay, good. Then do it again. Okay, what do I fly? I fly my kite. and correct it as needed with there, okay? So you've said the word 2 times, the first time with TPR, the second time with a prop. You've said the sentence 2 times, then you've asked a question and gotten the answer back with it. Now, if you're just still in the smart demo stage, if you're in that interview stage, all of the slides that you're going to see in the smart demo are this introduce type slide. So if you follow this little formula, the word 2 times, the sentence 2 times, ask a question, then all of those slides can be taught that way, okay? You might have them circle something on the page. You might extend a tiny bit. We'll talk about more with the extension here in a moment. But if only in the smart demo, extend just a little bit. Just teach a little bit more on there. And we'll talk about extension here in a moment, okay? But that's how you do the introduce slide. So every slide that you're seeing, I vocabulary, I verb, whatever, you're going to use this formula, this thing, the word 2 times with TPR and a prop, then the sentence 2 times, then ask the question. Okay, then once you finish that slide, you go to the next slide. Now what we usually do is we spend 3 slides on one new concept. So we're still teaching the word kite here, okay? But now we're on the P slide. The P slide is for practice. This is where this is the we do part, where we are practicing. I'm going to start with the question. So this question actually has a little girl flying a kite. So I would circle the picture with a little girl and I'd change the question just a tiny bit to get it to having she. So I would say, what does she fly? And get my student to answer back to me, she flies a kite, okay? And that may take a couple of times back and forth to help them with it, to correct them with it, to circle it on the page, whatever. I want them to say it correctly 2 times. What does she fly? She flies a kite. What does she fly? She flies a kite. Okay, so you're going to practice that question and answer with them. Okay, and then on this practice slide, maybe you would extend just a little bit more. Extend by teaching them something new. So maybe you have a little airplane. It could be a paper airplane. Just fold a paper airplane with a sheet of paper. Okay, and then you could say, she flies an airplane. She flies an airplane. Yes, what does she fly? Same question, right? What does she fly? She flies an airplane. Just to get a little bit more in there, okay? Just to extend just a tiny bit in there, okay? So that's the P slide. Sometimes your slide has 2 words on one page, and that's the case of this one. I didn't really talk about that, but it has the word kite and the word doll on one page. You have to do this whole process with both words separately. So do everything with kite, then do everything with doll. Okay, and then on the next page, on the practice, do everything with kite, then everything with doll. Okay, now the next slide that you come to is the A slide. This is the apply slide. This is the 3rd slide that they have had on this concept. Should they know this? Sure. Okay, should they be able to use this word independently? Sure. Okay. Now, normally we like to keep the question the same all the way through the introduce, the practice, and the apply. In this lesson, you can't do that because the picture changes and the question, it has the question, what is it, at the top of the page, and you're just saying it is a kite, it is a doll. But if you go back and think about the A lesson, the A lesson has on the word ball, we're introducing the word ball, we're using the sentence she plays with a ball, and the question, what does she play with, what does he play with, stays the same through all 3 slides. Okay, that's ideally what you would do, is you would use the same question all the way through. Sometimes that question is not in the teacher directions and you have to create that question on your own. Okay, I help you through that with some of my other coaching sessions that I do. I help you know how to which questions to ask, particularly on the SMART demo. I give you the exact questions to ask on those that help you get those answers all the way through. Okay, so so you're looking for those questions. Sometimes they're in the teacher directions, sometimes they're not, and you have to create your own. So good luck with those. Okay, all right. But on these apply slides, you are wanting them to answer independently. We want to be able to say, what what does he play with? And they just give us the sentence, he plays with a ball, okay? Maybe they even extend with he plays with a basketball, he plays with a soccer ball, okay? But you're wanting them to answer independently, trying not to help them as much so that they say it on their own. Okay, again, we do, or you do, this is by the time we get to you do, they should be able to answer that question. I should be able to just say, what does he play with? And they give me the answer, he plays with a ball. Okay, or if we're teaching throw and throws, I should be able to circle the little girl and say, who throws? And they just give me, she throws. Who throws? He throws. They should be able to give me those correct conjugations through there. Okay, so I hope that makes a little bit more sense of what we do with those 3 slides: the introduce, the practice, and the apply. Now, normally in a lesson, we do introduce, practice, and apply with a new vocabulary word. Then we might do introduce, practice, and apply with another vocabulary word. Then we maybe do a slide or two using both vocabulary words together, okay? Or then we move on and we do introduce, practice, and apply with a new verb. And then we do introduce, practice, and apply with a new sentence or a new phonics concept or whatever that we're doing, okay? But we do that introduce, practice, apply, introduce, practice, apply, introduce, practice, apply, all the way throughout the lesson. And then usually towards the end of the lesson, we see the E slide, okay? Now the E slide is an extend slide. This is where it's usually towards the end of the lesson. It's usually just a picture. Okay, and in that picture, we are just getting them we want to use some open-ended questions using those same questions and vocabulary words that you've used all the way throughout the lesson. You're going to just review everything. So you bring in all those words, all those questions, okay? What do you do with a ball? I throw a ball. What does mom do with a ball? Mom throws a ball. What does dad do with a ball? He throws a ball. You're using those back and forth, and you can also extend a little bit with teaching them something new. You could teach them the word catch and how the word catch works the same way. I catch a ball. He catches a ball. Whatever you do there, you're just teaching them something new in that one, on that extend slide, okay? Now, there is also a demonstrate slide that you see down here at the bottom. You actually will not see that type of slide in the hiring process. That one is one that we only use every 6 lessons when we are giving our students an assessment to see how they're doing through the process, okay? That's when you'll see the demonstrate slides, but it is a type of slide, so we just wanted to make sure that you know about that, okay? So those are the 5 different types of slides: introduce, practice, apply, extend, and demonstrate. If it says I up there at the top right, you're going to use that word 2 times, sentence 2 times, ask a question, okay? If it's practice or if it's apply, make sure that you are starting with the question. Don't start with reviewing that answer, okay? You start with the question, okay? Then you get them to give you that answer. You help them as needed. By the time you're getting to the A, though, they should be doing more and more and more on their own. Okay. Then the E slide is the extend slide, where they are gonna, you just tie the whole thing up, review everything, use all of those different vocabulary words, pronouns, extend with using a new pronoun or teaching a new word. And then the demonstrate, again, you won't see that during the hiring process. You will see that once you start teaching. A couple of just minor miscellaneous things here. Speak slowly. Okay, you cannot speak quickly. You're going to speak slowly and precisely so your student can, they can't understand you if you're speaking at a normal speaking speed like we would. Okay, so speak slowly, speak precisely, okay? Extend a little bit on the practice, the apply, and the extend slides. If you're on the SMART demo, the only slide that you're going to do is an I slide, and so you do need to extend a little bit on that I slide, but keep it very simple. Their extension is the cherry on top. It is something that you're going to spend 5-10 seconds on, not a huge amount of time. Focus on the objective of the slide, not on this extension, not on teaching them something new. You focus on what is the objective on this slide. If the objective of the slide is he throws a ball, then the objective is not he throws a red frisbee. Okay, that's not the objective. I might use frisbee. Okay, that might be my extension. You know, he throws what does he throw? He throws a frisbee. Okay, okay. I might do that, but I'm not going to spend a ton of time on that. That's going to be really short at the end of it, okay? Now, a couple of other things here is pacing. Your pacing is very important through this. You don't want to spend too much time on those early slides where you run out of time at the end of the lesson. You have 2.5 minutes to record your smart demo. If you're doing the recorded demo, it's not as crucial on time. They say it's 5 to 7 minutes. You can kind of play with that one, but it's not as crucial on that one. But when you do that mock class, you have exactly 10 minutes to teach the lesson, and they will cut you off at exactly 10 minutes. Now, it's not an automatic fail if you fail or if you don't finish everything, but they want you to get close, okay? They would rather you teach well than rush through just to say, I finished the lesson, okay? Nope, you gotta teach well through that. So make sure that you're doing that repetition, but don't do so many repetitions or corrections or whatever that you end up not having enough time, or you spend too much time on the extensions and not worrying about the actual objective of the lesson, okay? I don't know that I said this, I'll say it here though. When you're doing corrections, try twice. If they're still messing it up, move on. Okay, and then the last thing I just want to mention in passing, I have another separate video that talks all about reward systems. We do love to reward and encourage our students, and we give them rewards throughout classes. Now, in a regular class, once you start teaching, you'll be able to give them stars. Don't use the stars for now. Don't use those as a part of the hiring process. Use some other type of a reward system that you can say, yay, good job, you get a whatever you get. It could be animals, it could be race cars, it could be toys, it could be fruit, it could be whatever you want to give them. But here's my thing. When I talked about extend just a little bit, use something that is an extension of the lesson. So if you're doing that lower level mock class and we're teaching them about toys, use toys, okay? Then you could say, yay, good job, you get a car, okay? And you can teach them these new words, get them to say the new word. Car, yay, okay, and then it counts as an extension of the lesson, okay? Maybe I could even use this if I haven't said a complete sentence on the page yet, like if I haven't said, if I haven't said a complete sentence, I could use this to get a complete sentence. It is a car, okay? It is a horse. Okay, whatever you want to use there, but use those rewards as the extension in there. Okay, all right. I hope this has helped you understand all of this stuff about the hiring process and the teaching style here. So again, we're talking about the big three. What were the big three? On every slide, the student must speak in complete sentences, use correct grammar, and they must speak independently. Some of the slides, it's easy for them to do the activity without actually saying something. They must speak on every single slide. So make sure that they're doing that. TPR, move. Get your student to move. Okay, explain it with a motion or with a prop, not with words. Okay, so use that TPR. Show them how to do things like drag and drop and circle. Okay, show them how to do that before you ask them to do it. Never want my student to go, what does she want me to do? She wants me to circle something, but I'm not sure what I'm supposed to circle. Nope, I'm going to show them what I want them to do before I ask them to do it. Okay, and then the last part was the I do, we do, you do, getting them through this process, through this sequence where they are becoming independent speakers. That's our goal. Always our goal is getting them to become independent speakers through there. And that goes through all of the different types of slides: introduce, practice, apply, extend, and demonstrate. Thanks so much for watching today. I do appreciate that. Again, if you are looking for more help, please see my website, hellopennydavis.com. If you are one of my referrals, you get access to the Hiring Bootcamp, which is a part of my website. It's a password protected area. And so there is tons of information there to help you through the process. So if you have not applied yet, please be sure and use my link. If you've already applied and didn't use a link, add my code, Penny0008. If you have already used somebody's code and they're not helping you, then or you don't know how to get in touch with them, just log out, clear your history, and start a brand new application with a different email address and password, email address and phone number, and use this link. Be sure, whichever one you do, email me. teacherpennyvipkid@gmail.com, so that I can help you through the process. Thanks for watching today. Give me a like and a subscribe down here on YouTube. You can keep track of all the latest things that are coming out for VIP Kid. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.